YouTube ski, what it do ski?
What is up, y'all? We are back again and we have a very special guest today. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Philippe or Jean,
Uh-huh.
whichever is comfortable.
I like Jean-Philippe.
All right,
All
thank
right
you.
there. Yeah,
All right. Well, nice to meet you. We're so happy to have you on our platform today. And
definitely.
I guess we'll just get it rolling. Uh,
Yes, yes.
you could tell us a little bit about yourself, like kind of what your background is with Jehovah's Witnesses. How far back does it go in your family, if any?
Okay, sure. I was born in Brooklyn, although I do have a French name because I'm Haitian descent.
Hmm.
My involvement with the organization started off not at birth, but as a child. So when I was born, my mom was already studying. So the family, she's like the matriarch per se.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
She's the one that spearheaded our involvement in
Okay.
becoming Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
So when I was born, she was studying the Paradise Lost book.
Hmm.
Um, the OGs will know what this is. And there's an infamous convention that the society used to always sort of broadcast, Yankee Stadium convention. My
Yeah.
mom was actually baptized in that convention.
Oh,
Oh wow,
wow.
that's like a real
Yes,
staple.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So she goes that far back.
Wow.
In
How long
fact,
ago was
in
that?
her album, there's a picture of me standing in front of the pool where she was baptized with
Oh,
the
Oh,
theme of the
okay.
convention and all. I was like a little tiny tot, so
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
That was a
Mhm.
while back, right? How many years?
Um,
Well, that's
hers was in particular. Hers was in 70. I want to say 72.
that's
Wow.
what I'm guessing the
72.
70s.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Yankee Stadium. Yep.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
So, how about when it comes to your journey? When did you become a witness?
Actually, I became a witness with an agenda and a purpose.
Uh-huh.
Because I was always I started reading at an early age, and I was a critical thinker as a child.
Hmm.
So I started studying at the age of 10,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. And the ones that did my study at the time, I studied the My Book of Bible Stories book.
Yeah.
Uh, Back then, remember in the 70s and 80s, pioneering was the thing,
Yeah.
especially New York. New York was the hub. It still is.
Mm-hmm.
So I studied with pioneers. So not only did I study, I also got involved in the ministry because of these particular pioneers.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my purpose was I used to get chastised and antagonized a lot because I used to ask those incredible questions, even as a child.
Uh-huh.
And instead of getting answers, I've gotten, you know, twisted ears, little
Yeah.
smacks,
Oh,
little
Yeah.
okay.
this, that.
What were a
Yep.
couple of those questions you were asking at the time? If you could.
Um, well, they would ask like one question they asked me. If you remember the My Book of Bible Stories, it talks about Adam and Eve. Then it goes straight into Cain and Abel, and it shows the death of Abel by the hands of his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I would ask, well, how come Jehovah did not deal with Cain for killing his brother?
Hmm.
And I still remember that wacky answer. Oh, the earth wasn't filled yet, and it would have challenged Jehovah's purpose in heaven. So it would, all that. So, so they
That's an
asked me,
interesting answer.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, the earth was not yet filled. And it's a challenge to Jehovah because it would cause the angels in heaven to raise questions and blah 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 blah.
Yep.
See, that's the thing about that question too, because that's something that never made sense to me too, and something that people will talk about.
Hmm.
Because who did Cain and Abel have? Like, who did all these people have kids with? You know what I mean? If there wasn't already people on the earth, like
Exactly.
nothing but incest, come on.
And that's where you have to fill in the blank that's not there and go, it were other people. Well, I'm looking at the pages and it's not in here.
Right,
Exactly.
Yeah,
And better yet, who did he fear? It's like
right.
right.
this burden is too much for me to handle. I fear that somebody might kill me. And
Who?
Jehovah placed the
Right.
mark on him and then sent him on his way. You remember that? So
Yep.
Yeah,
so who did you fear if the earth was not full?
exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
No?
Yeah. That's
But I remember one particular question. they had, because we used to do recap. And
Hmm.
they asked me about Cain and Abel. And my answer to them was, well, Cain became that way because it was God's fault. And it was like, what? And I said, take two children, put them in a room,
Hmm.
show one more love than the other, and you see the result you'll get.
Yup.
Because basically, for the way I saw it, I thought God showed more love to one side than the other.
Right.
You got a reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Boy, did I get in trouble for that.
Those are good questions though, because at
Yeah.
that point they're also supposed to be closer to perfection. You know what I mean? Like that's what they
Exactly.
always said was that they're closer to perfection. I don't know. That doesn't look very perfect to me if you're like out there trying to kill each other.
Yeah, it's an unbiased way of looking at it, but
Yeah.
in the organization you are taught you can only view and think one way. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And back then, there's certain questions you could not dare ask.
Mhm.
Because you questioning Jehovah now, you questioning the organization,
Mm.
and back then it instantly thought apostasy. Well, who you getting this question from? Who's giving you materials?
Yeah.
They
Right.
understood the fact that I was just a child that knew how to read early, and I'm till this day I still read.
Yeah.
I'm an
Yes.
avid reader,
As you
and yep.
oh.
So from that point on, I said, you know what? I'd rather be the go-to guy in case someone who has a mind like me
Mm.
or who have questions like I had,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll at least find somebody with an answer.
Oh.
So this is the reason why I kind of pushed and stayed with it.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, so you were one of those good people to go to because like people who do their own research and who really went in there like purpose is driven, like I'm gonna figure this out since nobody else can tell me what is going on.
Yeah, you're
Exactly.
supposed to not have the answers at the door. Talking
Yeah.
about I'll be back.
That's so
Oh,
embarrassing. That used to be embarrassing because it would be simple questions that they would ask too sometimes, and I wouldn't have the answer for it. Like, I don't know, they didn't tell me how to answer this question. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. In fact, they used to have I've been gone a while, so I might be kind of rusty. You would have to tell the interested one, a sheep-like one, you
uh-huh.
know what? That's a good question. I'll get back with you on that.
Yep.
Yep.
How
Yep.
you have to answer them, so
Mhm.
um, like I said, that's the reason why I decided to stay in. And
Okay.
me pioneering and getting as far as Bethel and getting as far as minister of servant could have been an elder, but I didn't go any further. Had
Okay.
my reasons. But it was like I said, I had a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, sure enough, a lot of youths came to me
Yep.
with
Hmm.
these inevitable questions.
Yeah.
Yep. It's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Mm-hmm.
whenever you're young because you're not as indoctrinated. You know what I mean? Like once I think the older that you get inside of like an organization, you become more and more indoctrinated because you're just used to whatever rhetoric that they're giving to you. You know what I mean? But
That's true.
kids are
That's
like
true.
the least indoctrinated people, right? Like that's why they do the things that we think are hilarious sometimes, but like that you don't see grown-ups acting like that because they're just
It's free.
free-willed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially they're not paying attention at the Kingdom Hall the way that adults are.
Oh
So
no.
the indoctrination not really hitting. You just sitting there bored.
Right. And they have all the questions. Like the youth have all the questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
you mentioned a couple of, that you pioneered and things.
Mm-hmm.
If you can you take us through the timeline, like when you got baptized, when you became a pioneer, if you can remember.
Sure. I got baptized my senior year in high school.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to say January of '88
Mm-hmm.
when I
Mhm.
got baptized. Um, prior, I was a non-baptized publisher prior to my baptism,
Right.
but I've always given pioneer hours,
Wow.
always.
Uh,
Because remember, I studied with pioneers, so I was part of there's a clique, you know.
There's a
yeah,
click.
Yeah,
definitely.
so I was part of that. Um, Uniquely speaking, my parents. Let me rewind a little bit.
Mhm.
Once my mom was baptized, we moved to Miami, Florida. Um,
Okay.
it was five families. There was no French congregations down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
There was five family, mine and four others. We were a large family. So the congregations in Florida today was sparked and started by virtue of us five families.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Right?
pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. When I say my mom is like etched in stone, she's still
Yeah.
active to this day. She was etched in stone.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the missionaries. She studied with missionaries, and that missionary actually became our district overseer.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Yes. And so my mom, she went to Pioneer School, she Gilead School. My mom is like deep, knee deep.
In it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You couldn't pry her out if you tried. You
Yeah.
know, so
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. That makes sense though, because Florida, like the islands are right over there, so it makes sense to have French halls there.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they were able to establish it is because one, immigration
Mm-hmm.
to get your status and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Florida is a friendly state, believe it or not, for immigration purposes.
Okay, I didn't
Okay.
know
So
that.
my parents are foreign, so Florida was the thing. And back then, if you had like that's how my dad he became a ministerial servant.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, if you had your ministerial card or whatever, if you ordained, that's a plus for your status.
Mm.
Oh,
So I moved down there. Now it wasn't spiritual; it was strategic. But we'll,
yeah.
we'll stick to the script.
Right.
Uh, and so that's the main reason. And then a lot of people who wanted to get their status, like I said, Florida was a friendly state. Even to this day, it may be a bias. There's a lot of bias in it, but overall, it's a friendly state for
Mm-hmm.
status.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how we established congregations throughout South Florida.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
So when did you start pioneering? And did you ever pioneer with your mom?
Actually, I did. I did.
Okay, that's a good question.
I sat on studies with my mom,
Uh-huh.
because especially when I moved up with the responsibilities,
Yeah.
Right.
your parents is going to be proud, this and that. So I
Mm-hmm.
would sit in studies with my mom, and then I'm multilingual, so I would do it in her language, and sometimes she'll come with me
Mm-hmm.
and sit at my studies also. And so we got, as long as I was active, I got along well with my mom.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been out? You said it's been a while.
Yes, I left in
Oh,
93.
oh my
That's
gosh,
the year I was born.
that is crazy.
Oh
So
yeah, we about to
over
fill in
30
some blanks.
years.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So pioneering, and then you mentioned you had got to Bethel at some point.
Right.
Oh,
I pioneered right after high school because back then they encouraged you not to go to college,
Yep.
yep.
take full-time service in the ministry because Armageddon is at near, blah blah blah,
Yep.
So like I said, I rode the wave, but I had a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So pioneered, I say 88.
Okay.
I was a full-time pioneer up till 91.
Okay.
Hmm.
There was a French brother. In fact, he was my pioneering partner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He got accepted at Bethel. So I think he went in 90 because he did a year. So
Mm-hmm.
he came back in 91. And when he came back, he handed me an application. We'll get to that. They don't want you to recruit, but they want you to recruit if you get
Right.
Yeah.
right. So once he handed me the application, I didn't say anything to him, but my family, we already had Bethel connection. Reason being, remember, we was the first 5 family that established Kingdom Halls down in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When there's a congregation that's about to be in place,
Mhm.
Bethel is on you like roaches on bread.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So we got to know. I got to know Brother France, both uncle and nephew. I can't remember Hansel. I can't remember all their names, but
Yeah.
they would come down there and they nonstop, and they'll give symposiums and public talks about Jehovah's spirit at hand. We're
Yeah.
establishing a new congregation in Miami, Florida, and blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
they would give us special tours. They'll actually send buses because my dad, he was a fleet manager for the city, and he
Mm-hmm.
knew how to drive big, heavy equipment, trucks, and buses. So he would drive the congregation
Mm.
to Bethel.
Mm-hmm.
From Florida.
Yes, from Florida.
Sheesh.
Because remember,
Yeah.
that's their tactic. They got to keep us
Yeah.
joy. They got to keep us happy and keep us in. So when he handed me that application, uniquely speaking, that was around 80, I want to say 84, up to about from the mid 80s through the mid 90s, for about, I say about a 10-year stretch. Prior to me going to Bethel, I want to say 1988, they call it the witch hunt, season of the witch hunt.
Mhm.
You got to remember, Bethel had disfellowshipped several of their members, of its members. Well, all the old school. I'm talking about people that served 40, 50, 60 years.
What?
Why?
What had happened was Brother France, Raymond France,
Uh-huh.
he went against the grain and he brought out an issue,
Mm-hmm.
and he was labeled as an apostate, and they disfellowshipped him, excommunicated, but disfellowshipped him.
Yeah.
From that point on, there was like a split, a sanction. So people that Raymond was like the best thing since sliced bread as far as a person in the organization.
Yeah.
And for him to go out like that, it touched a lot of people.
That was serious.
Yeah, that
Yes.
makes
Oh my
sense.
gosh, that's
Because he sounded like he was the authentic one there.
yeah.
Oh, very yes.
He's seen
Very
all the
authentic.
cracks of what's going on, and
Very authentic.
the fact that he came out with the crisis of the conscience, like
Yes.
Yeah.
hey,
So
That's an
how
excellent read.
authentic
I
it
think
was.
he explained his bits and pieces of it in that book,
Yeah.
Crisis of Conscience. And then he wrote another book. I don't remember the title of it, but it might come to me.
okay.
But that's what happened. He was wrongly accused. He was all because he exposed. You can't do that to the society.
Yeah.
You go against the faithful and the sweet saved class, the anointed ones, and blah blah blah. He got this fellowship, so there was a sanction, and so they were meeting and discussing. Most of them were discussing exit strategies because a lot of people don't know. And I hope viewers who are active, Pimo, I don't know the titles. You got to remember, if you're gonna dedicate yourself to this organization, have a skill set, have
Got to.
something you can fall back on.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Technical school, they say not to go. Now you can go to college. Duh. Go figure.
Right.
But so have something to fall back on.
Yes.
And that was the panic among those. It wasn't about, oh, the Watchtower Society was wrong and the brothers was wrong. No, it was like, man, what we gonna do?
Yeah.
And they had info. One thing about Bethel, there's a lot of snitches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be proper. Your kissers.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I don't want to ruin your
Brown papers. No, you good.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not what it appears to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crap going on in Bethel. Excuse my thing. But so now the infiltrators, the kissers, started attending this meeting, and then they went back and told on them.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
There always has to be somebody
Always
doing it.
in every organization.
Yep.
The Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's always somebody.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. You
Always
checked it.
somebody.
And that's what happened to them. Exactly.
Trying to gain favor through giving.
Yep.
That is ridiculous.
Yep.
You know what? But that further shows how much of a cult this is, because if you have to come up with an exit strategy to simply leave a religion and change your faith, that's a problem. That means they have control over you in the worst ways. You know,
exactly.
These poor people, like, they didn't have nothing to fall back. They didn't have any means of being able to support themselves.
Exactly.
They don't care because you're not a part of this, then whatever.
Yeah, and literally up until this year, they wanted to keep it that way. You know what I mean? This whole time they've been talking about don't go to college. College is not good. Like, the world is about to end. Now all of a sudden we're changing our tune. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Remember that thought. This is the reason why I didn't become an elder, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
So when they infiltrated, they got together. Back then in Bethel, we had titles for certain individuals. Your elders were the the overseers were like we call them troubleshooters. You had guys that was like by the book, and if everybody was out of hand, they would send them.
Get the elders,
exactly. The elders was like the we used to call them the CIA. They'll have their little brown nosers collect intelligence.
And
then they'll decide, okay, we'll put awakening truth on them. We'll put whatever, Lady C and what's they on them. So
Yeah.
they had delegates on how to handle certain things.
Oh, wow.
That's
And that's what happened. And
Mm-hmm.
these people, imagine you gave your entire life, 40, 50 years to this organization with no outside skill set. And a lot of them literally begged them, say, look, we don't mind you excommunicating or just whichever term you use,
Mm-hmm.
but don't say we're apostates. We're not apostates.
Yeah.
And they said yes, but guess what? They took in their face, they said, okay, we won't do that. And the day they decided to go ahead and disfellowship, they labeled all of them up as apostates.
That is
that's
crazy.
bogus.
Yep. And this was like 88.
Years to
Yep.
this organization for to be treated that way. That's how you know it's literally like a business.
Yeah.
Even how they did the congregations that you're saying down in Miami, like sending all the
Mhm.
people from Bethel there to get things started and to
Mhm.
keep people. It's like welcoming them into the business.
Yeah, it's like you
Exactly.
gonna open up a new branch, a new McDonald's
Yep.
down the road.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And matter of fact, how they handled their financial report, you got to remember back then, I don't know if it's still this way today, you had to turn in your field service hours.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What they would do, they would kind of retrofit the field service hours to the budget at hand. Because you got to remember, they're tax free, whatever, they're exempt from a lot of things. So when
Yeah.
the government asks you, well, how did you come across this funding? Well, our people put in work, and this is how many hours they put in to get us this.
Ah,
This amount.
That's why they would stress, hey, we need your hours, we need your hours. Lo and
Behind
behold,
the scenes.
lo and behold, and I dare anyone to challenge me on this.
See?
that is very
And
interesting.
everything connects back to business with this.
Exactly, exactly. So when I went in, well, I went in by I didn't really have to go through the process. I went through the process on my second tour. My
Mhm.
first tour, after they did all of this fellowshipping, and a lot of people also left, they had this peak where serve where the need is great.
Yep.
During that time, they started a temporary Bethelite thing where they was asking local congregation members
Mm.
to volunteer on the weekends or 4 days a week
Yep.
Uh-huh.
to plug in the hole. It was like a dam that was leaking, so they needed fingers and hands to plug in the holes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did that by temporary Bethelites.
Ah, so that's
Okay.
where that came from.
Yes.
They still have that going, I think, till this day, like the part-time Bethel,
Yeah.
Yes.
the commuters, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, when that is rampant and active, there's a decrease in membership in numbers.
Oh,
Makes sense.
interesting.
So I remember when they were doing moving to Warwick, my aunt, and uncle, and my granddad back and forth part-time going.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's how my first induction. That's how I first went in. But I still had my app.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But when I got in, I was with the reconstruction crew. I was with demolitions and flooring.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And when I got in, we had to finish the Stanley Theater, and it was just getting started with the Albemarle Theater with the two congregations. It was Albemarle and Flatbush congregation, Finmore, and I was assigned at Lennox.
Okay.
Okay.
So I went in when it was heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, while in doing all the work, what they do is the elders back then, the elders would kind of like observe you,
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
and then you know when they're gonna call you back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You automatically know. Back then, if they didn't want you back, they'll reassign you. And
Mm.
most of the time, back then I think we still had the chicken farm back then. They'll send you to the farm, they'll send you to Walk Hill,
Hmm.
they'll send you way upstate,
Yeah.
and then after that, you sent home after that.
Mm.
Okay.
But if they keep assigning you, especially at the hub, I mean Brooklyn, you it's kind of like the hint.
Yeah, that you in
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Wow.
the reason why they needed a lot of members also was they had just purchased the Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Um, the governing body they're all arrogant. Just
Yeah,
plain and
definitely.
simple. Yeah. So they kind of like hatched their eggs before the chickens hatched. So
Uh-huh.
they was boastful about the Stanley Theater. Oh, look how Jehovah got us this and blah blah blah. And something happened where they appraised there's a chandelier when you walk in the main lobby. There's a huge crystal
Mhm.
chandelier,
Mhm.
and it happened to be decorated with raw jewels and stones and gems, and it's solid gold.
Wow.
Yep. So that's what they did. They took that wow and made a speech of it.
Fun. Right.
That's
You know,
amazing.
and Jehovah blessed us with this, blah blah blah. So now the owner, so the seller got wind of it because in his heart he felt like, hey, I sold you. I could have got more for the price I sold you this building.
Right.
So
Yeah.
now that you found an extra, I don't remember what it was. I think it was 1 point, almost 2 million. It raised the value up. So he went back and wanted some more money, and it
Oh
became
my.
a big legal case.
Ah,
So yes, and so during the battle of this case, he hired some fire inspectors
Uh-huh.
because the society didn't go according to the plan.
Right.
So he got wind of that, and so he sent in some inspectors, and so now the society was in trouble. So
what?
that's the reason why they needed they, anybody with skills. When I went in, you had to have some set of skills.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how I got pretty much kept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And moving forward, where else can I go? Oh, when you first get there, it's not like everybody think, if you're a pioneer or you came from Bethel, you're like the creme de la creme.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everybody's goo goo gaga over you, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep, that's true.
And everybody's going, you goo goo gaga when you get there, right?
Uh-huh.
Man, when you get there, you get like a little folder portfolio. You have the accredited ministry school. Remember that little thin
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
get that? Uh, I think field service slip, and then your thing for your orientation. It's just like the military.
That's what it sound like.
Oh man, it's just like the military. You get your bags, go line up over here,
Uh-huh.
follow your sister. They'll guide you because you had housekeeping and you had I can't remember all the titles. So they assign you to the room. When you come out, boom, you got to go to your orientation. After orientation, you go to your assignment, and boom, you get to work. There's no, hey, brother, hey, all that. No,
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 get to work.
that's
That's
none of that.
it.
Work.
There's none of that. And so when we got assigned, it was four to a room. So me and I happened to be assigned with three. All of us we were all critical thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one brother. I'm not going to mention his name. He was like a Malcolm X type. He was outspoken, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, "Bro, keep it to yourself, man. Just observe."
Yeah.
He was like, "No, no, no, no." He messed around and said something, and they didn't like it. Just like I said, they sent him to I think Apple Farm. They had him picking apples for like 4 months.
Oh my
Dang.
gosh.
Yeah,
Like
he had to go pick apples,
Right. It must not have no cotton up there. Yeah.
and they shipped him out of there. Now,
oh
when
my
that happens,
gosh.
the elders will come and they'll ask you questions. So, how was Jevin like?
Mm-hmm.
And they want to get your perspective.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, I didn't get a chance to see him much because as soon as I got here, I was assigned, so I didn't see him much. But did you hear him say anything out of the ordinary? No. We talked about field service. We kind of confused with the schedule, so we weren't. I knew the game, so
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, so that's the only discussion I had with him.
Oh, you played that smart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Got to.
That is
yeah.
crazy. So they were like, yeah, you gotta get out of here. Little
Yeah.
did they know that all three of y'all were like that.
Yup.
Wow. Okay. So how long did you spend in Bethel? How long were you there?
A little over 2 years.
Okay.
Spring of '91, and then I was reinvited
Mhm.
mid '92 up to September '93.
Okay.
Okay.
Were you a
So
ministerial servant at that time?
yes, yes,
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
yes,
This
yes.
is what we gotta ask. What's a misconception that you learned by being in Bethel that people may not be aware of?
The misconception. Oh, okay. A lot of okay. We have Patterson, Wallkill. Um, oh, back then, technology we have today, we didn't have it back then.
Right.
Right?
A lot of brothers was getting thrown out for having possession of porn material. Back then, it was Playboy magazine, Hustler.
Dick and all of
Sisters,
that.
oh,
Oh my gosh.
the sisters was getting this fellowship like cups of water,
The sisters too?
housekeeping.
Because it's like college.
Yes.
Like
Thank
17.
you. Thank you. You got it.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's
There you
like
go.
college. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. You remember a lot of them are young too.
yeah,
Right.
And like I said, you gotta look at the algorithm. All the housekeeping sisters, and it was housekeeping. I can't remember the other title, but
Mm-hmm.
they was all the good looking sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So you got brothers hitting on them, hitting on them, hitting on them, hitting on them, and eventually they cave in.
yep.
But
Makes sense.
the sad part is that they'll keep the brothers and they get rid. So sexism, that's one.
Mm.
Oh, especially back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Yes,
Please see that. Like, oh no, we gotta get
yes.
some less attractive sisters up in here.
That's crazy. And you see inside the congregation, it would be a lot of times the opposite, where the
Yeah.
brothers would get in trouble,
Yeah.
Right.
sisters wouldn't.
Yeah.
Whereas in Bethel, it's the opposite.
Wow.
Wow. You know
Dang.
what though? This makes me think, I wonder if that kind of contributed to the gay culture there too, because
Oh,
we had somebody else on and he was talking about how there's like a lot of like LGBTQ people in Bethel, you know what I mean? And thinking about the span of time, like the 80s up until this time
Yeah.
period, that
hmm
makes sense.
Yeah.
well, back then we had mostly butt bandits. They were at I want to say Walk-Hill, because back then those individuals was at Walk-Hill, but all the
Oh,
I don't want to say thugs, but okay, all the thugs, whatever, they were at Patterson.
okay.
But if you wanted to hear solid, I won't say rumor, but anything solid that's gonna go down, if it came from Patterson, it's solid.
It's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it came from Walk-Hill, that's questionable.
Okay.
Which one was
Right.
the worst? Which was the worst one? Like,
The
which one had the
wildest.
most wild things going on?
I'd say Walk-Hill.
Walk
Yeah.
No,
through,
no,
walk
no.
forward.
No, I'd say Patterson. Walk-Hill was
Oh,
one thing. It's Butt
okay.
Bandit and the community.
Okay.
So that's like one thing. But Patterson, you had a bit of everything. You had
Ah,
guys,
It's mixed.
drunks. You had guys, brothers getting arrested.
what?
You Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
Every day to go to college is
Remember,
like,
they don't have no downtime. It's just like you say, exactly. When you let a pack of mice loose,
Yeah.
they're gonna go buck wild. So they'll
yeah,
get TDY and they'll get buck wild, they'll get drunk, or they'll fornication was the biggest thing when I was in back then.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Back
feel
then.
like that's the biggest thing, period. Like, that's usually what people get reprimanded for.
yeah.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
dude I was cool with from Chicago had said that because he had been disfellowshipped before, and somebody asked him like, "What was you disfellowship for?" He was like, "The same thing as everybody, robbing banks." Like, like,
You think?
what you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that is too funny.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
man. But that makes sense though. Like, always thinking of Bethel as something. It's like the fairy tale that we didn't convince ourselves like this is different.
They're perfect. It's
The
like the
best
Okay.
things. And it's like, no, you got young people who had these controlling parents, and for the first time they out the house, well, other people whose first time is out the house,
Yep.
and they get together with no supervision. Come on,
Yep.
the other scenario, you know what's going on.
And everybody's kind of running on a high because they're like, yay, like we made it here to Bethel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're working for Jehovah, we're doing all of these good things.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is there's always two sides, there's multiple sides to every human being. So no
Exactly.
matter how much of a straight line you think that you're walking on, like no,
No.
there's always the
Exactly.
other side, you know?
Exactly.
You'll find navigate to the people who are like you. Like if you like listening to, especially back then, whatever music was out early 90s, and you sneaking and listening to it,
Oh,
you're gonna find
Patterson.
out who else like what you like. And y'all, hey man, look what I
Patterson.
got, this new digital underground, bro. Let's listen to, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh man, Patterson. You had
Yeah.
a group called Onyx back then. You had
Oh yeah.
Public Enemy,
Yup.
Wu-Tang. They were listening to all that stuff back then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's in the
Yeah.
90s.
Run DMC, all that was being played back then.
Yup.
Yeah.
This is where my eyes opened. When we had downtime, when I was with the reconstruction crew,
Mhm.
when I had downtime, they would assign me with the journeymen. So you
Okay.
had HVAC, electrical guys, and plumber guys. When they needed material, we had to go to headquarters and to pick it up. And sometimes we'll get there, so we have to wait. So one time I was with the was it the printing department, research department,
Mhm.
it was some brothers. And, like I said, for some reason, I always ran into critical thinkers. And there was, I don't know if you heard this, but back then there was like Jehovah, the governing body or the faithful in the street saved class. They go in this room, they sit in this table, they pray, and Jehovah's spirit come down.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, lo and behold, this is what they do. They go in the room, they decide what the topic of discussion is,
Mm-hmm.
and they all come up with it, and then they'll call in an overseer, and they'll decide if it's going to be a convention or if it's going to be a kingdom hall. Most of the time, it's going to be snippets in kingdom halls that will lead to a convention.
Mm.
And in turn, the overseer would take it, give it to an elder. The elder would take it to the research department.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they do it. The research department will put it together collectively, cross-reference, reference this, scriptures, and blah, blah, blah. And they'll send it back up the chain.
Yep.
And then the governing body will sign off on it. Okay? So if that's Jehovah's Spirit, woo-ah. So this one happened to be on the destruction of Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
And the brother at the time, he had a problem with it. Because the organization says 607 BC plus 1 year Nisan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Historically, that's the furthest thing from the truth.
Right.
The destruction took place in 587 BC, and there was no year of Nisan.
That's what I heard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The math ain't mathing.
It's not. It never will.
No.
It never will. And so when I kind of had gotten close to him, so I was like, man, what's bothering you, bro? And he was like, man, this, and I started laughing. He was like, this is funny. He said, don't laugh because I'm the one that's pushing this out. I said, man, don't worry about it. Everything in the organization is bullcrap. Everything. Jehovah himself is circumstantial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, if people don't see that today.
Oh man.
And lo and behold, we had an overseer that came in and he expressed his concern. And it was as if I handed the script to the overseer. He said, well, now you know everything about this, and Jehovah is circumstantial. And he walked off.
See, they don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody, that is great. Okay, we have 1 minute left. So we're going to send you out a new link, and then we'll pick up right where we started. Let's just remember where we ended.
Yeah, the overseer let the cat out the bag. Was like, oh, get back to work.